For this E minor 7 variation, we're going to be using all 4 of our fingers. We're going to make the E minor shape with our first and second finger. So that's going to be our first finger on the 2nd fret of the A string and our second finger on the 2nd fret of the D string. Now, by not pressing down on the 1st fret of the G string, that's what makes this an E minor. But to make it an E minor 7, we need to add the 7th note of the E minor scale, which is a D note. And to do that, we have our 3rd finger pressing on the 3rd fret of the B string, and that's our D note. And then we're going to take our 4th finger and we're going to put it on also the 3rd fret of the high E string. And this chord actually fits very well in the G chord family. As you can see, it has a very similar shape to the G. That's 3rd and 4th finger are exactly the same. They don't need to move at all. So it makes transitioning from the G and back to the G very, very easy. And so this is a good E minor variation to play within the G chord family. This E minor 7 variation very well may be the easiest chord to play because we're only going to be using 1 finger. It's going to be our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. Now, the reason we're using our 2nd finger is because it's going to make transitioning to other chords a lot easier. Now, you want to make sure to press on the sweet spot of the fret with the tip of your finger. Make sure you're not coming in at an angle, because if you do, you're probably going to mute the string behind it. So you want to come in straight down onto that string with the tip of your finger. For this E minor 7 variation, we're going to be barring all the way up here on the 7th fret. We're going to be barring with our 1st finger 5 strings. We're not going to be barring the low E string. That's actually going to be part of the chord. So we're barring strings A all the way down to high E with our 1st finger. And then we have our 2nd finger on the 8th fret of the B string and our 3rd finger on the 9th fret of the D string. Be careful not to have that 3rd finger coming in at an angle, because if you do that, it's probably going to mute the string behind it, which in this case would be the G string. So you want to make sure you press with the tip of that finger and that you arch it in. And to do that, you might have to turn your hand a little bit this way in order to get that finger coming straight down onto the string and not coming in at an angle. For this E minor 7 variation, we're going to be barring the 5th fret with our 1st finger from the A string down to the high E string. So we're not going to be barring the low E string. That's just going to be part of the chord. And then we're going to take our 3rd finger and put it on the 7th fret of the G string, and our 4th finger, our pinky, is going to be on the 7th fret of the high E string. So our 2nd finger is getting a break here. It's not going to be doing anything.